Introducing Mike's Hard Lemonade Seltzer with 100 calories and 1 gram of sugar. Nobody makes lemonade like Mike's.
We are joined by a lady from Chillicothe who gets around, and part of getting around is getting her out to Oregon. And we have Terri Tutt with us now. Terri, thank you for joining us. Your getting around is because you are a track official, and we've been seeing a lot of activity on NBC this week with the U.S. Olympic trials.
It's a wonderful place to be. There's a lot of patriotic spirit here. I can tell you that.
We want to take a moment to explain what it is that you're doing. We know that if you have followed along, she is still for a few more days the FAC commissioner, but she's also been athletic director, Huntington girl, and everything else. You've been around track most of your life, but in this capacity, you wear a chief hat, don't you?
Yes, I do. The chief clerk.
I noticed it was green.
I know. Hey,
Huntington
Oregon
Township,
Ducks
right.
are green. Yeah, Oregon Ducks are green too. So all I've heard about out here when I wear anything OSU, Ohio State is, we're playing in football this fall.
Yeah, that's right. You don't show that to your husband and say, just to remember, I'm chief.
I know I can't take it home though, but yeah.
Now, Chief Clerk, you've been checking a lot of people in. You sent me some photos the other day of you checking in hammer throwers.
We check in every athlete. We give them a call time to come back to report. We have 2 call areas. I mostly work in clerking A or clerking 1. Once they come in to us, we give them a bib. You know anything about this bib, guys?
Houlihan.
She did not compete.
Yeah, he's a hot lips Houlihan.
No, she was not allowed to compete because she tested positive for a steroid
that's
or
right.
something. Yeah. So that's why I have her bib.
Wow.
She doesn't have it. On the back is a pocket. Can you see the plastic pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, so a chip goes in every athlete that records data on the back, so you'd never see that. And then they pin it on. And then they also get a pass for their coaching box. Yeah, and there are designated spots for their coaches and agents to be close to the track. So then we take them down to call room 2, which is under the new Hayward Stadium. It's almost air conditioned feeling compared to outside. And there's an area there where there's lots of TVs. They can watch races as they're prepping to go out. So there we give them hip numbers.
I know you've done a number of officiating events at the collegiate level. Is this your first time as an Olympic trial event?
I was the head clerk. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just got a text. The head personnel guy wants to know how many clerks I'm sending to race walk. So I was the head clerk in 2016 because the selected head clerk had a heart attack in March. So it wasn't well publicized, but that's how I got it in 2016. So this is my second time to be the head clerk. And I came out in 2012 just as an underling clerk. It's my 3rd Olympic trials. I just do it. I love it. Under the radar. I'm getting another text. I'm sorry. This is so bad.
This is a high level position, so she's having a lot of people reach out to her.
I am, and I apologize. I have clerks on my crew from Kentucky, California, Arizona, Texas, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio, and Oregon. So it's people from all over the country that were selected that pretty much the highest level resume of clerks. So it goes well when you have those people here.
You mentioned the kind of an almost air-conditioned feel when you go underneath the stadium there. This Sunday, that part of the country is expecting about 45 degrees. It seems warmer than what it's supposed to be. How warm in Oregon for these events?
Well, it's been in the 80s and low 90s. Today we're going to be in the 90s. Tomorrow 102, and Sunday scheduled to be 111. So when you take the track temperature, it's in the 130s.
Wow.
They'll be taking ice water, pouring it on the white start line. So when they get in the blocks, they can put their hands on the start line and be able to leave them there. So it's going to be warm.
This is insider information.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff that you wouldn't expect to see, but when you see it on NBC, now you'll know why they're doing that.
Right, right.
Now, Terry, you also said some of the events were going to have to be moved to a cooler time of day. You might talk about that.
Right. So starting tomorrow, the longer distance races were scheduled late afternoon when it would be so warm. So the 10,000 meter run, that's a lot of laps, 25 laps, is going to be moved to the morning at 10 a.m. And then the next day, there's a 5,000 meter race that will be moved to the morning as well. But everyone else just have to suffer through it. And of course, if you're running steeple, you end up in the water anyway. So
That water will be warm.
yeah, it will be. You're right.
We were talking about some of the locals. And when we say locals, we're talking about kids from Ohio making their way out to the Olympic trials. And you've had a chance to check a lot of those kids in, I'm sure.
That's right. Ohio State has several, a thrower. I know they had a young man that ran sprints and a young lady that did. And I've seen several Tiffin throwers. A former Tiffin thrower is Corey Blair, and he runs the indoor track facility for Logan High School. So it was cool to see Corey there throwing. And Ashland University, Miami University of Oxford has a great runner. They've had a couple here as well. It's just nice to see those people. I had clerked the ACC, so anyone ACC I kind of root for in my heart. Of course, I'm very impartial, but so yeah, it's great.
I was impressed with the number of Division II collegiate athletes. And you think of the Olympic trials, you're all going to see Division I kids, but Ashland University had a young man that almost got to the next level, had a bad start in the 400 hurdles, but came on strong and almost got in there. But yeah, there's D2 kids that are doing well at this.
And I think there's one D3, and you have to compete. Everyone comes to compete. It's anyone's, no one knows for sure what will happen. We have a high schooler that will be throwing the javelin this morning out of St. Louis, Missouri. Has the Olympic standard, just graduated high school. So who knows? It gives me goosebumps. Every time they cross the line, you see the effort. Takes me back to my track days in high school.
The girl that you mentioned from Ohio State that qualified for the Olympics in the shot put, her story was incredible. She never made it to the state high school track and field championships when she was in high school. She was a walk-on at Ohio State, became a two-time NCAA champ, and now she's going to the Olympics. I guess the point is you can never give up on that dream because you never know where it's going to lead you to.
I know one of the really good gentlemen throwers. I'm thinking it's Joe Kovacs, but I'm not sure. Actually coaches her as well as Ohio State. So, I mean, she's got some, I know it's like the birthplace of throws. Judd Logan, everyone knows that name. That's in track and field. He's from Northern Ohio College. I think it's Ashland, but it could be a different one. So, yeah, we have great throwers in Ohio.
And even for yourself, all the years that you were around, not only at the high school, but at the college level as an official, here, later on in life, you get probably one of the biggest thrills to be at the Olympic trials as one of these officials. You're never too old to experience that dream.
Well, I think I'll get too old at some point, but I'm in it till 28. 28's the trials in Los Angeles, and that would be my goal. And I'm trying to stay in it till then.
We've had a number of locals who have performed in the Olympic Games. Of course, Cindy Hauserman, probably one of the more recent famous people, but we go all the way back to Tiffin Cook and all of those. But even the likes of Don Rockhold, who worked as an usher when the games were in Salt Lake City, those experiences are experiences that, man, you just don't want to throw away. And they're experiences for a lifetime, aren't they?
Yes, to be out there and see them hand the flags to the first three people and they take that victory lap, I seen Allison Felix bring out her little girl, or to see Shikari from, I don't remember where she was from, the 100 with the flowy hair, to see her go right up to her grandmother in the stands. Yeah, there are moments for a lifetime. That's for sure.
What would be the likelihood that you'd ever get to, clerk an event or something at the actual Olympic Games?
Only in our country.
Okay.
So in 28, when it's in the United States, that's only 7 years from now. You would have to, otherwise each country pretty much fields their own officials, and a few internationals are invited in. So that's not one of my long-term goals, to go to, like to Tokyo or past Olympics like London. I was hoping we'd get them in 24, when they were getting ready to announce it, but no, but it's 28.
But like every athlete who trains for many years, you're training as well. And you've got that goal of 2028. Let's hope there's never another pandemic to delay it.
Yeah, you got to keep your game sharp. You got to still be out there working and traveling. I was the head clerk of the NCAA D1 indoor in Fayetteville, Arkansas in February this year, and flew out for that. So yeah, NCAA is a little different than the Olympic trials. This is a little more pressure. This is a lot more pressure. Anyone under me that does something wrong and they come up to my tent to visit me, it's hard. And then I have to have a conversation with my people and say, you did this wrong, or let's correct that. So it's like you're under a microscope here to do it correct for the athletes.
So which is tougher, doing this or helping those toddlers at Walnut Street United Methodist Church?
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. That's like herding cats, isn't it?
I don't do that anymore, but I did it for several years after I left Huntington, kind of as a transitional retirement, and loved it. I did 3-year-olds. Yeah, taught them.
And now chasing around grandchildren. So
yes, I am. And grandchildren, I purchased you some USATF shirts for the trials.
There you go. I did see on Facebook someone posted when you see your former track coach or whichever it was, and they saw you on TV and they captured that and shared that on Facebook. That had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was surprising even to me. They circled it with highlighter or something, and I'm like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Now, you're hard to pick out, and the reason why you were showing us to start off here, show us what you look like so people will know what you will be looking like on TV. Yeah, this is how you find me.
You have to wear the blue. Today I'm wearing a blue shirt. We're all wearing blue hats, and then we all have to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. So if you can pick me out. And sometimes I put on my sunglasses.
Oh, here we go.
This is me.
Yeah. She looks official.
Now, a lot of referees in the various sports have a number on the back of their jerseys. Do they put numbers on you guys?
Our referees wear different colored shirts. They're usually yellow or white, or that's not the color we're wearing. So if you ever see someone in the middle of the field and like a bright yellow or another color, that is a referee.
You need to come up with a code like Carol Burnett used to have for her grandmother. Pull on your earlobe or something like that. We'll know it's you.
Problem is you never know when the camera's on you, right?
She's always got her hand on her ear. Yeah.
And I truly spend a lot of time in call room 1 and not on the field. So if I'm out there, which I was yesterday during the 200s, things aren't going well. And so I'm trying to get things organized. We leave at the start finish line, and for the 200 you have to walk them around the track to where the 200 starts. Mike's nodding, I know he knows some track. Yeah. And so you have to stage them several places, so when the gun goes off, the next group goes in the box, into the blocks. So I was out there with that for a little bit, but I try not to be on the track.
So if we see you on camera, something might be up.
I'm having a little conversation with someone about that's true.
Lastly, Terri, I know you've got your own protocol to keep things on time, but is there anything to live television speeding things up the way you run it?
What a great question. I have one of these for every day. This is my call room schedule that I put together even before I flew out to Oregon. And then Dave from NBC comes and visits us every morning and gives us the TV schedule, which I don't have one right in front of me right now. but then we have to make adjustments to this schedule. So this is when the event starts. And so they only tweak it 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes due to commercials and who knows, I don't know what NBC does, but they come to see us in the morning and then they stand at the start line. You've seen them on TV interviewing afterwards, and they tell you through, they'll tell my head line clerk 2 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes. And so it's his job to keep the athletes calm. And just when they think they're going in the blocks, they're not. And so you don't see any of that, but it's very stressful for my line clerk. He's from Michigan. He does a great job. His name's Anthony, to keep them calm down, and just, he has to go on. You have to be flexible. That's a good word. Yeah.
Much different, and you have to be flexible with your emotions as well to keep them in check so that you can be competitive, especially in like the 100-meter dash when it's over like that.
They're standing out there much longer than it takes to run the race.
Yeah. Well, Terri, we ask that you do your best to stay cool this weekend and come back in one piece, not melted, anything like that. But thank you for taking time out with us today, and tell all those people sending you messages that we appreciate their efforts to interrupt our interview as well. So
I will. I've got 2 text messages and a phone call to make as soon as we get off there. So I'm on it.
She's a busy gal.
And congratulations to you as well. That's a big honor what you're doing out there.
Yes.
Hope you got a little insight, into what's going on behind the scenes to put it on. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Chief Clerk Terri Tutt, thanks again for joining us.